Okay. Hello.
Hello. Yeah, ratings or rankings, whatever we call them. Week 4. Um, since we last talked, a little bit has happened.
I'm not even
Just a
updated.
tad.
I'm not even updated fully.
Yeah, so I can give all my thoughts first on people based on the updates. But yeah, essentially when we last spoke, John was locked going home, no questions. And then things happened, and it was a 5-6 vote. The house blew up. Kalani won HOH, had a backdoor plan in place. The backdoor plan changed, blew up falsely the house, and now everybody has no idea what's going on. I've never seen worse gameplay on any season. Straight up, horrible gameplay. It's so messy. And we'll dive into it person by person.
Yes.
Oh Lord. Do you want me to get my computer to see what people had last week?
I can do that. It's fine.
Oh, okay. I mean, we can see everything that you're doing right now, just so you know.
Week 3 ranking.
Like we can see your screen currently.
Yeah, it's fine, right?
Oh yeah, I just didn't know if you don't want us switching back and forth.
Oh, I mean, if you want to get it up, that's cool too.
That is good with me. I can do that.
Get it up or no?
Yeah, I can get it up.
Okay.
And if we don't want to update the graph today, that's okay with me.
I have it
But
ready.
also if you want to. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, funny enough, I cannot open rankings week
I got
3.
it. Got it.
So
I'm on a pause screen actually. So I can see them now. Okay, let's see. Kalani last week had 5s from both of us.
okay, I'll start here. Kalani, literally before the veto meeting, I thought Kalani was going to put up Natalie. The plan had shifted to Natalie. And I thought Kalani would have put up Natalie. And after doing so, Kalani would have actually been one of the people positioned best in the game.
Mhm.
And here's why. Because after last week, the house was split into 2 sides. However, during this week, the side that kept Cade was like, we thought Natalie was with us, but as it turns out, Natalie was not with us at all. So we're finding Natalie going. And then the side that kept John and failed found out that Natalie supposedly was targeting Kalani week 1, which is not the case. We found that out, and they all turned against Natalie. All Kalani had to do was put up Natalie, appease both sides, and all of a sudden she's one of the few people stuck in the middle. Instead, she had to make this huge big fuss about it, which exploded the entire game. Her entire spot, she's losing allies left and right. Everyone pretty clearly now knows that Kalani was not a vote to keep Cade. And all for what?
Yeah, for like the show.
For the show, exactly. So oddly enough, despite all of this, Kalani's actually not in the worst position out of everyone. There are some people that still managed to do worse than Kalani this week. That's how low the bar is set. But I'm definitely lowering my ranking because we're going into a double of all things for Kalani.
It just sucks because it was like so unnecessary. Like
So I was ready to come into tonight and say, Kalani, I'm boosting you up more points, 6 or 7, maybe even a 7. Nope, 4. Flop era.
I just
But
don't
we haven't left it
understand.
yet. We've been in the flop era all season.
Like it's not even like there wasn't enough drama going on this season already.
There's 3 house literally the average house meeting number per week is like 3. And they're all so dumb. Like, go to bed. No one wants a house meeting on Zoom at 12:30 a.m.
Um. So yeah, I'm also gonna go for a 4. Cool. Next.
Great. Next.
Wait, hold on. Me. Hold
It's going to be rare that I have a positive thing to say about someone's gameplay this week,
on.
just so we're all aware.
Okay.
It's either going to be neutral because you kept silent and that was good, or you damn tanked your game.
Okay. Next is Cade. Cade had
Kate.
5s from both of us last week.
Kate has 5s from both of us. Okay, so here are the very, actually, I said there's one person that I will speak very highly of, and that
Yeah.
person is Cade. Cade is the only person, and listen, when I say speak highly of, what I'm about to say is like, oh, Cade is just like an averagely logical player. But the thing is, everyone else is not. So Cade looks really good here. What Cade does is he talks to everyone and just like says what they want to hear, plays along to what they want to do. And then his dining room is like, okay, this makes no sense, but sure, I'll play along. And I'm like, yes, that's what you do. You don't do whatever the fuck Charles does with the vote. And when Cade says, I'll let you do all of this stuff if I win competitions, if you keep me, please just give me your vote. And Charles goes, but John, no, and people are telling me it's a fun. I was like, Charles, just say yes and move on. Like, and even Cade was like, why is Charles not just saying yes and move on? Even if he was lying, I'm lying right now. So Cade is the only person acting with the slightest bit of logic. The only bad thing is he knows this. He does not know anything that's going on. And he is so out of the loop. And here's the good thing. We will say this again. Better to be out of the loop and know that you're out of the loop than think you're in the loop and like not be. You know what I mean? He knows he's on the outs and he's slowly making his way in. And this blow up is what needed to happen for him. So I actually do feel good. I would be totally willing to stay at my 5, and I think I'm going to. The only thing I'm nervous about is last time we were like, Cade's not going anywhere. He stayed by a vote. So we'll see. But I'm going to stay at my 5 because I like Cade and I feel confident in his abilities.
I'm also gonna. Oh my god. I'm also gonna stay at my 5, but I feel confident that in the future, we will be going up on Cade. I think Cade is more.
I really see Cade in the spot that Rocky was. Like literally right around this time was when it literally was this week that like last season that Darby was like really going home, and then all of a sudden the vote flipped. Maddie went home. Rocky did not see it coming, and he was able to like slip in there and like pull something together. I really, really hope that he's able to because he's showing that he's able to.
Yeah.
So I'm really pulling for Cade.
Oh, this is the wrong thing. Okay. Okay. Natalie. Poor Natalie.
Oh, poor Natalie.
Natalie had 6s from both of us last
I
week.
feel so bad for Natalie. For everyone watching, I'm sure you know this now. Natalie has done 0% of the things that people are accusing her for. 0% of them. Natalie has literally just been a nice, and like, granted, sure, has she talked to everyone and like appeased them? Sure, but that's what you do as a basic Big Brother player. She has not actively come after anyone. And the fact that Kalani took a text from Natalie that said, yeah, I'm weighing my options, but I think I'm still voting out Hunter, as Natalie, you orchestrated a flip against me. No one said that. No one said that. Not a single soul put that out there. Yeah, that's what Kalani thought. Blew it up. Was so confident about it too in her veto speech. At this point, though, I really don't know. Whereas John had allies to campaign to, at this point, both sides are against Natalie and both sides are for Cade. And Natalie's go-to person would be Cade.
Who she
So
evicted.
who like exactly. which I'm not even sure. She says so confidently that she voted to keep Cade. And now even I'm confused. I'm like, Natalie, do you know that you evicted Cade? Like, I'm convinced that she made a mistake.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm confused. Anyway, besides the point, it's not her fault that she's in this position. She got royally screwed, but I don't think there's a way she can make it out. I do have to drop down to a 3, though.
Well, we're going all the same rankings this week. I'm also going to give a 3.
Crazy.
Poor Natalie. But yeah, I agree on all these fronts about this. Natalie did not deserve this. I don't like that the people who think in general are being voted out of this game. That was the end of the sentence. I wasn't gonna say think blank. Think. People who think.
Think so true.
So true. Okay. Camilo.
Camilo.
Had
Okay.
5s from us last week.
Yes. So what you said about Camilo last week, about when the house eventually blows up, which la-di-da, here it has, that he would be able to slip into the cracks. Last week I said, like, I disagree with you. I disagree with you less this week.
Okay.
Because I do think now Camilo's one of the few people that I think is solidly in the middle and both sides like need-ish. But then again, also Kalani thought that Camilo was the most popular person in the house this week and was targeting him for a hot sec. Again, no one said that, Kalani, but I digress.
I'm gonna lower my score on Kalani, but I won't.
The only reason I'm not is because I really don't think that Kalani's the person that goes home next.
We shall see.
We'll get there. Yeah, so Camilo, I'm just gonna like, he doesn't have any. No one says my number one's Camilo, which isn't that great. And he doesn't talk to enough people to, I think, actively slip in. What I see happening though is like when some side forms and they need another number, it's like, oh, Camilo.
Yeah.
So currently on the trajectory, I don't see him going soon necessarily, but I also don't see him being able to place past like 6th place at best in the current state of the house. So much can change though. I'm gonna stay right at my 5 again.
Look at that. I'm staying at my 5 too. You should let me get my ranking first, so it doesn't look like I'm copying it. Yeah, I mean, he was on the block this week. Good veto win.
He's won all the trivia competitions.
Yeah.
All 2 of them.
He's really smart.
Speaking of, I need to update the wiki.
Oh, me too. Yeah, I agree. The thing is, I think I agree with myself from last week, like less. I think we're probably in the same spot now.
I was saying now we're pretty much in the same spot, I think, in terms of thinking.
So yeah, I think that he needs to start putting in some work. He's like, I'm just gonna play the nice guy for now. I'm like, okay, but what does that mean? So like, yeah. Okay, moving on. Amina had a 7 from me and an 8 from you.
Yeah, Amina, you done goofed, girl. You done goofed. Listen, I still love Amina. I still think Amina has a very solid chance to make it to the end and rebuild. However, throwing a vote to save John last week was just not what needed to happen. The votes were not there, and now everyone knows that Amina was one of the votes. I don't know if Amina knows that everyone knows, but like Molly, Haley, like they don't really trust her anymore, which isn't great for her. However, the house is blown up, and Amina, one of the few people with a brain cell, said this. Nothing. That's all she needed to say. Because now all of a sudden, everyone's talking about other people and no one's talking about Amina, and it leaves her room to like get back in with people. So like, okay, at least we are learning from a bad decision. Okay, Amina, that's a positive thing about someone's game. I'll keep a tally. That's 2 positive things I've said so far. So I mean, I definitely am lowering my score. It wasn't great this week. However, my score is still going to be in the positive area. I'm going all the way down to a 6, but I'm going to stay
That's
at a
what
6.
I'm doing too. Oh my god.
Crazy.
Yeah. I think that, I mean, the reason that I'm lowering is that obviously open 6 and 6 does not equal 5. Um, yeah, I feel like she's losing a lot of connections with these people, especially like that was so random last week. I feel like I feel like she knew that wasn't the right move and she did it anyway, which like upsets me a little bit. To vote out Cade. Um, but I truly think that you're right that like with all of these names being brought up now, not even like new names, but like all of these names in this explosion of the house, I think that everybody likes Amina, even though she like kind of was shady one time. I feel like everybody likes her, and that's like the first step you need to be
The
trusted.
earliest people have started bringing up Amina's name now. However, it's all in the context of like, great, who do we want to get out in the next couple of weeks? Well, after we take out Charles, and like they're talking about like maybe trying to go for Amina as juror number 2, juror number 3 currently.
Mhm.
But by the time we get there, things will have shifted.
Mhm.
The house is not in a solid place. Like the contradicting comrades or Dan's biggest mistake from them to be planning 2 to 3 weeks ahead. It's just not going to work. So we'll see. I'm still
Ooh,
optimistic.
6s. Everybody's favorite, Cal. Cal had a 4 from both of us last week.
Okay. So, Cal. All things considered, I think Cal actually had a pretty good week. This could have gone so much worse for Cal.
Almost backdoored.
Almost backdoored. So how this, like, let me be clear. This was a bad week for Cal. But could have been a worse week for Cal. That's a positive thing. 3 positive things today. So it could have been worse. They could have been going home, and they're not. So that's good. Here's the bad though. Calling the 15th house meeting of the season bad. Exposing an alliance instead of trying to play along fake bad. Living for the drama at every possible moment bad. However, here's the thing, and we'll get to their ratings next actually. When it comes to calling out Charles and Kalani, I'm getting a call, 1 moment.
Okay, I'm pausing this, I guess. We will return once I find out. We'll find out who's calling Scott. The viewers are dying to know, who did you get a call
I'm
from?
back.
Who did you get a call from?
I think it was someone hit the wrong alarm, or not alarm button, apartment button.
Rip.
Cool. Anyway, oh yes. Calling out Charles and Kalani. Charles and Kalani have proven time and time and time and time again that they love to plan and scheme. But as soon as someone calls them out, they're like, no, we're still allies. Look, I won't target you. So I bet you if Charles or Kalani win, like say Charles wins the double in the HOH for whatever reason, God forbid. I really, so I don't even think Charles goes after Cal. I think Charles is literally like, see, Cal, I'm working with you. Just take out Cal, Charles. Anyway. So like oddly, not in like the worst, like I feel like they're actually going to be targeted less for the double than they were coming into this week. which is really weird.
Okay.
That being said, though, like I would consider going up to a 5. However, I think my ratings this week, just for how bad everyone is, I'm gonna bring everyone down on average. So if Cade and Camilla are at a 5, Cal's not there, so Cal gets a 4 from me.
That's what I was gonna say. Saying that you had a week better than it could have been is not a reason for me to raise my score. And also like I still I'm not convinced that Cal is not a major target going into this.
Oh, for sure. I also really think as soon as Cal fixes one problem, they create 2 or 3 more. So give it time.
I don't see this. I need a good reason to come up from this 4. Anyway.
Great. Charles's turn.
Okay.
Let's talk about Charles.
Charles had a 5 from both of us last week.
My score's going down. Listen, so Charles, as a human being, wonderful person. As a game player, oh no. Charles, why? First of all, why did we start a flipped vote against John? John was so far done that you were already fighting a very uphill battle that did not benefit you really much at all. Going against Cal, someone who still at that point had your best interest in mind, to save John, someone that you really have not talked to. It really is John just campaigned to Charles, and whenever you tell Charles something, it's kind of just like, oh, like that's the thought that we go on now. So then the flip didn't, or while campaigning for John, was constantly just like, yeah, people are coming to me saying this. Charles, no one was going to you. And people, like, sure, votes are anonymous, but when you're the only one talking about it, it's clear that it was you. So everyone knows it was Charles, no matter how much they try to deny it. Everyone was like, Charles is playing such an under the radar game. I was like, you do not know what under the radar means, everybody. Because this is not under the radar. This is out in front trying to mastermind it, and it is not working, unfortunately, for Charles. This whole Natalie thing, like, to be fair, like Charles was arguing, like, no, you have to send home Cal this week. And the right move was not that. The right move was Natalie for Kalani, but then Kalani goofed that up too, and now that was horrible. Now I'm pretty sure Kalani and Charles are not even allied after this house meeting. Like they hate each other, and Kalani's back with Cal for whatever reason because Kalani goes with that whatever way the wind blows. This was atrocious. Like literally such an atrocious week. I'm going down to a 3, and you're not even on the block.
In my eyes, I think that I feel like I cannot make distinguishments, if that's a word, between Cal, Kalani, and Charles right now. Like they are all so messy. They all like I don't even know which one of the 3 is working with each other. They've all worked with each other at some point.
They're all working with each other while simultaneously all not working with each other. I
So
just think Charles is the biggest target going into the double.
I'm gonna stay or not stay. I'm gonna go down only to a 4. Just
I was
because
considering going to a 2.
just because I want to put them all in the same tier. But yeah, yeah. Okay.
Oh my god, this is so bad.
Um, okay.
Okay.
Eliav had 7.
Okay, here's someone that we can again talk. Like Eliav has said nothing. So smart. Eliav is actually one of the few people that I think has maintained their position in all of this. It started to get a little shaky for a sec when they were like, oh, Grace did vote to keep Cade. Then who's the other vote? And Molly was like, Eliav? And I'm like, no, Kalani literally put Cade on the block. Use your eyes. Anyway. So now I think Eliav's are short, and I think both sides like Eliav. Like no one is targeting Eliav. and I think Eliav is like one of two people, if not one of one person, that no one is targeting currently. Going into the double, I think Eliav is the most safe, knock on wood, out of the house. But that being said, like hasn't proven to me yet that he's like really really gamey still. So like I cannot move my score up, but definitely like is still in a solid position. So I'm gonna just stay at my 7.
I'm gonna stay too. I agree with you on all those points. And I'm excited to see how it progresses because I hope it does progress his gameplay as the game continues.
So much of this cast is either too passive or calls a house meeting every other second.
Too not passive.
Like Amina is the only person that I've seen actively play. Amina and Haley, I'll say this is Haley. Haley is great at this. Actively play a good strategic game.
Okay, let's get
Everyone else is either pushes it too far or doesn't do it enough.
Grace.
So we'll see.
Grace has also had 7s for both of us.
Yeah. Grace, again, to no fault of her own, in this vote, both sides assumed, oh, Grace did not vote with us. She sent screenshots, and it's like there are certain red flags that you have to look for when you fake screenshots. Grace sent the whole text, and it had text before and after in her diary room, and some were from us too. Like I think that is very concretely Grace is not lying, and Grace has no reason to lie.
Yeah.
Yet she consistently by Molly for whatever. Like Molly hates Grace for no good reason. Molly hates Grace because Grace and Erin are in a known alliance. Molly does not actually hate Grace. I mean, like Molly has some sort of like vendetta against Grace. Like Grace is the one I need to take out, and I'm like, but Molly, girl, why? Erin and Grace are not in a known alliance.
All right, Erin's been out for weeks. Come on, focus.
So Grace's position is not as good as it once was, but it's still not bad. I'm gonna go down to a 6.
I feel like relative to the other people that I see and the numbers that I'm giving, I'm gonna stay at my 7 for Grace. Just because I do see her doing a lot, talking to a lot of people, proving that like she's not a liar to Cade with the screenshots. Yeah, I mean, I feel like that was I don't know why Cade needed that in the first place. Like that was one of the most absolutely frustrating parts about this entire week was them trying to figure out who voted for Cade, and Kalani was not on that list. That was so absolutely
Luckily
mind-boggling.
now,
Frustrating.
I mean, then again, I just can't count on anyone in this cast to use any sort of thing resembling a brain cell. But now it seems like they've realized that Kalani was not with them. But who knows?
Yeah. I'm gonna stay on my 7.
Alrighty, Haley.
Because
Here's someone I'll speak positively of. Queen Haley. Love
yes,
Haley.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
One of the only people that just continuously uses logic. It is such a small thing, but in this season, for whatever reason, it is such a rare thing. Love Haley.
Haley had 5s from both of us.
Definitely raising my score. I think a lot of people now see Haley as a key person to work with. And I think Haley is really, really strategic as well. The only downside is Haley's been used as a pawn before, and with this season, the trend is once you've been used as a pawn, you can be used as a pawn again. So until she breaks that mold completely, which I think we made major steps in this week, she's also made major inroads with the other side. So I'm like hoping and praying that this is the start of like the Haley run it to the end arc. Would really love to see Haley make a deep run. I'm going to raise my score only to a 6 for right now, cautiously, but I think and hope and pray that it will be rising week after week.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the same exact thing. I really, really love Haley, and I think the only reasons we've been I'm gonna look at the graph. Hold on. Haley is this like
Haley's been at like fours, and it's because she's been on the block.
yeah. So this is Haley right here. I think her line goes up like right this with the red line. It's this dashed blue line, and I think it goes up with the red. Um, it's because she's hit the block a bunch of times, but Haley started off really strong in the season, and we know that she has such a good head on her shoulders. I think that it's great that she's connecting with more people and really getting it in. So I'm also going to go to a 6. And I think that in the future, possibly even next week, I'm going to be higher than a 6.
I hope so. I really hope so. Michael.
One moment. Okay. Michael had 6s from both of us.
I'll be fast at this one. I'm staying right at my 6. Michael's another one that both sides really like Michael. And again, I think he's another person that really should not go anywhere in this double. The only issue with Michael's game is, and it's like, I really don't blame Michael for this, but he's just like not talking to as many people as often as I feel like he should be. But again, like that's not something I really blame Michael for. So yeah, I'll be interested to see how the game progresses for Michael. But so far, it's still just in like a good, fine, solid, average place. So I'm just gonna stay at my 6.
I'm also going to stay at my 6, but in the coming weeks, if something doesn't like happen with Michael, if he's not like pushing for a lot of these moves, I feel like I could see myself going down in the coming weeks.
Only reason I'd go down though is if all of a sudden he becomes out of the like he's still very in the loop and very ingratiated into things
exactly.
that are going on.
Which is why I'm staying. But I could see that possibly shifting and changing in the future. And if that in the event that does happen, that is why I would go down. So yeah. Oh no, 5, 6, 6, 6. Okay. Cool. Okay. Molly.
Oh my god, Molly Murphy. How on earth was Molly the biggest, no question, biggest target in the house 48 hours ago? And now, how is Molly one of the most trusted people in the game?
The season is crazy.
What were we at for Molly last week?
Oh, let me check. 5.
5s from both of us, I think.
5.
I'm certainly raising my score. It's ridiculous that Molly Murphy is doing so well. But she is, and she's low-key killing it. I'm gonna raise my score to a 6 because the double is coming. However, a lot of people are at 6s, and my hope is that next week some of them evolve to 7s, maybe even 8s. This double is still looming, and Molly is still a name that's out there.
Yeah.
But like, goddamn, girl, you really turned that around.
Yeah.
4 positive things tonight. Good for Molly. 6 from me.
Yeah, I still really worry for her going into the double just because this house has shown that things can literally change in an hour. Like the entire dynamic of the house can change like within an hour.
That's true. There's no predicting this.
And just because we're going into a double, which, like in the hands of a wrong HOH when they have to instantly nominate people and people have to immediately vote to evict, where Molly Murphy is such a big name already. If she's on the block come double eviction night, I worry that she just goes.
What's interesting is if she's on the block, I honestly don't worry for her because Molly's talked to everyone.
I don't know. Her name has just been floating around a lot as a big target. while she has those connections, I don't know if she's against the wrong person on the block, what would happen. I'm gonna stay at my 5 going to the double eviction, but I'm very curious to see how this goes. Okay. Is this her? No, this is Kalani. I have no idea where her line even is. Oh. And finally, Monet had 4s from both of us.
Monet said 4s all season. I'm gonna cut to the chase. 4. She just doesn't. She hasn't talked to anyone. Still,
Yeah.
it's like people, and when I say people, I mean Charles will reach out to Monet to talk, give a half version of the plan, because for whatever reason, like Charles doesn't trust Monet. It's probably because she's another one of the most popular people in the house, like Camillo. But I just, I don't know. Like she has no. I just 4.
Yeah, 4.
She's perfectly nice. She just didn't say anything.
Yeah. I am also gonna do that. I hope to see some big change in Monet soon. Because she's like really participating in the
I was gonna say, this
competitions.
isn't like a situation where it's like we don't know where Monet is. Like Monet is clearly here. She answers her texts when people text her. She just hasn't reached out to anyone actively about the game.
Exactly.
Like one time.
Okay. Great. So, to recap, Eliav is the highest right now.
I thought you were about to try and recap the week. I was like, I can't even do that.
Recap the what?
The week.
Oh no. Please, I'm not doing it right now. Eliav's the highest with Grace. Not far behind.
Ooh, it's green now.
Was it yellow before? I don't really care. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's fine.
Natalie, unfortunately, most likely going home at the bottom of the rankings. With Charles, not far behind.
So bad. With all due respect, no, I no.
I'm really interested in this double eviction. That's all. We will see you.
What's crazy? I think there's a possibility that neither Cal, Charles, or Kalani go home.
We'll see.
This
Yeah.
house is so stupid. Anyway,
See you soon.
see you on next time.
See you on next.